Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Standing. My name is Beth, and today I'm going to do a kind of wrap up for the past week, which is basically just three mini reviews over the books that I'm about to take back to the library, but wanted to talk to you about first. So, yeah, let's get going. So, the first book from the library that I completed this week was Heartless by Gail Carriger. This is book four, I believe. Yes, book four in the Parasol Protectorate series, and I really enjoyed it. I love this series. I love Alexia Terabody, Lady Macone. I love her husband. I love the way these books are written. I just absolutely positively adore these books, and this was a lot better than Blameless. I wasn't a huge fan of Blameless. I enjoyed Blameless. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I gave this either 4.5 or 5 out of 5 stars. Um, but it was definitely kind of the weak link in the series, and I'm really looking forward to picking up Timeless when I finish reading the other 6 books that I have out from the library right now. Anyway, moving on. This book follows a very, very pregnant Alexia and her husband, who kind of wind up having to move into London and get a house next door to Lord Akildama, which is awesome. And we're also very concerned with um, Madame Lafoe, who is not acting quite like herself and won't confide in Alexia. And we are very concerned because it seems like the Queen is in a bit of danger, and because Biffy has been a werewolf for like 6 months now and just he's not acclimating. He's still very, very susceptible to everything. He's fighting against it so hard that it's just not working out. And there's a lot of really sweet moments and a lot of really worrisome moments, and some moments where you want to take a bunch of heads, typically male heads, and just knock the snot out of them. And there is also, of course, some steampunk bits and a whole lot of sass and snark. And I love it so much. I just love it. Uh, I would love to be in this world. So yeah, there's Heartless. Next, I have The Crossover by Kwame Alexander. This book, I can't remember if I gave it 4 or 5 stars, but it was definitely a 4.5-ish read. There were a couple of parts that I didn't particularly enjoy, but basically, it's an entire novel. The entire story is told in lyrics and poetry, and so there are, of course, a few of the raps and poems that are in here that just didn't flow for me like the rest of them did. And that's basically why it would be a 4 to 4.5 instead of a 5 star. The story is amazing. It made me cry in the end. And yeah, if you haven't read it, you definitely should. It's about this boy who he and his twin brother are basketball players, and he is the son of a former professional basketball player, and they are in, I believe, 8th grade, and just really, really talented. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and his brother gets his first girlfriend, so he feels really left out. And then there's some things with his dad that happen, and it's very emotional, and it reads very, very quickly. I think I spent a grand total of 2.5, 3 hours reading it, um, over 2 days, because I was reading 3 other books at the time. But yeah, you should definitely check it out. Um, Even if you're not a fan of poetry, I think you might enjoy this book. And it's a very, very hard hitting look at kind of junior high and family and expectations, and both family and friends and team expectations, and just trying to grow up and figure things out. It's a good look, and you should definitely, definitely look at that book if you have not yet. And then finally, I have Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. What can I say? There was a lot of hype around Nimona, and honestly around the crossover as well. But Nimona, I avoided picking up for a long time because there was a lot of hype around it. And then when my library had it, I picked it up, and I am so excited that I did. It's absolutely hilarious. It takes the idea of the villain and the hero and kind of turns it on its side, and it takes this girl right here who is a normal sized girl. I just want to point that out. Like, she's normal. She's not itsy bitsy teensy weensy. She's not this huge plus size girl. She's just normal. She's cute and she's very sassy. It takes all of these ideas, these tropes, it uses them, and then completely 180s, messes with them. It's hilarious, and the artwork is great. This page is like all greens. Then you come over here, and it's mostly browns and reds and oranges, and it's just, ugh, I love it. I love the way this is done. And this is a graphic novel that I think even if you don't like graphic novels, you could probably get into it. It's it reads pretty quickly as well, and the story is absolutely phenomenal. And the things that all three of these books touch on are just really well done. And books upside down. They're really well done. They all talk about relationships. They all talk about kind of family and love and the way you connect to people. They also touch on being a bully and trying to make sure that you use your powers and the things that you're capable of for good instead of for hurting people. And I know. I just, all three of them touched on some really, really powerful things, and you should check out every single book that I talk about. But those three right now, especially, if you've read them, let me know what you thought about them down below. If not, what are you waiting for? Tell me goodbye. Go check the books out. That's all that I have for you. I just want to talk to you about those three before I took them back to the library. I should have more book reviews coming to you soon. But until then, I hope that you have a fabulous day, week, weekend, whatever. And I will talk to you again later. Bye.